I feel like in the government's eyes, I'm a lesser person. In the public's eyes, it's a much, much, much worse.
Karen Griffiths feels humiliated. The mother of 4 is on a single-parent welfare allowance, and for the past 7 months, the federal government has placed restrictions on how she spends it.
What have I ever done for the government to treat me this way, to treat thousands of other people this way? You know, we've been branded as drug addicts and alcoholics and gamblers and dole bludgers. Like, most of us are just doing the best we can to get by.
Karen is one of 6,000 people in Bundaberg and Hervey Bay in Queensland trialling a new system which restricts cash withdrawals and uses a cashless debit card to control spending.
80% of the benefit is paid onto the card, 20% is paid in cash to the recipient's normal bank account. The only restrictions on the card is for alcohol and gambling, and obviously the drug dealers don't take cards generally anyway.
This region has been chosen because of its relatively high rates of welfare dependency. The trial has had a polarising effect.
This card does not help anybody reconnect. It excludes people. It carries a social stigma, social exclusion and financial apartheid. So there's no way it can help people.
The only thing the government's saying you can't do with your money is you can't gamble and you can't drink and you can't buy drugs. How could somebody get upset at that if they're trying to do the right thing?
The cashless debit card was first introduced in the mostly Indigenous communities of the East Kimberley in Western Australia and Ceduna in South Australia 3 years ago. Since then, the trial has been expanded to Western Australia's goldfields, as well as the first non-remote region, Bundaberg and Hervey Bay. Unlike the other trials, the Queensland scheme is limited to people under 36 who receive a New Start, job seekers allowance or a parenting payment. It's been welcomed by some community leaders.
Welfare is supposed to be a hand up. It is not supposed to be a career choice.
Faye Whiffen is a retired credit manager who heads the community centre in the township of Howard near Hervey Bay. She also serves on one of the Social Security Department's reference groups, assessing local reaction to the trial. What sort of feedback has the reference group been receiving?
Very good feedback on the benefits of people who are on the card. People are finding that they're able to budget a lot better. They've got money left over.
But some card users complain it's actually made budgeting more difficult.
I'm losing out on interest that I could potentially be building up in my savings account if I'd been able to transfer that.
So it's costing you money?
It's costing me money. Transfer restrictions...
Hannah Lacey, who is also on a single parent allowance, says the cashless debit card has prevented her paying off her monthly credit account, so she's now paying interest. And her bank now charges her for not meeting the monthly minimum cash flows in her savings account. She struggles to come to terms with more than 80 pages of terms and conditions set down by the private company which runs the card in due.
It's a dictionary of what you can and can't, so it's very confronting.
Have you been able to make sense of it?
Not really, but every time I want to do something with my card, I have to go and refer to it just in case it's not allowed or there's another term or condition I need to finish before I can access it.
No Yahtzee, that was my last roll.
Karen Griffiths claims her faith in the system was shaken when NDU once declined to release money for a pair of jeans.
I hate using my card. I've started shopping online for Coles just so I don't have to go in there and use my card. I'm terrified of it declining.
With anything, there'll always be teething problems. It doesn't matter what you do. But overall, no, any problems that have come to light have been addressed very quickly.
Cashless debit card users have also told 730 that they're restricted from paying off payday loans and buying second-hand goods online. But defenders of the card say all these problems can be overcome if card users would raise these issues with the Social Security Department.
If they do want to buy some second-hand things on eBay, or they do want to go to markets and they do need extra cash, say for a second-hand, like they might want to buy a second-hand lounge, they can contact the department and get an additional payment in cash as long as they can prove that that's what they want it for.
But the whole process of going through a department, a bureaucrat in order to spend your own money, can you understand how that can cause distress?
Well, for a start, I've got to say this is the taxpayers' money. And I think that the taxpayers have a right to know where their money is going.
One thing missing in this whole debate is any hard evidence. Supporters of the trial here in Queensland point to a drop in the youth unemployment rate for the broader region over the past 12 months, but even they concede they can't yet directly link this to the cashless debit card. There is, however, some anecdotal evidence the card is having an effect, according to this Hervey Bay-based food charity.
We have noticed since about July a significant decrease in the number of people coming in for free food through the emergency relief program, and an increase almost parallel in numbers to the people coming through our low-cost food centre and actually purchasing food.
And do you think that can be attributed to the cashless debit card?
I can't say it unequivocally, but it's a trend that we've never seen before. We've never had that. We usually would get, in 3 days, we would get at least 30, maybe 36 people through emergency relief previously. Now we're probably seeing 12 a week.
Operations Manager Jan Carlson also serves on the department's reference group and agrees the feedback has been mostly positive. What about people who are caught up in this that don't have an alcohol or drug or gambling problem and resent having 80% of their income quarantined?
Well, I haven't spoken to anybody in that situation, but we are finding, the other thing we're finding is that people are actually asking to voluntarily go on the card.
I understand their motives, but their process is flawed.
Back in Bundaberg, Karen Griffiths says she's been struggling to get through the school holidays with only a fraction of the cash she would like to entertain her 4 children. She says she's being punished for something she hasn't done.
If my partner was to quarantine some of my money, tell me where I can and can't spend it, tell me it's for my own good. You know, if I put something like that up on social media or whatever, people would be screaming financial abuse, domestic violence, get out. Why is it okay for the government to do it?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.